Hey guys, welcome to Clay to Canopy, where I attempt to do everything from the ground up. Today I'm going to be making some cat shelters. We have a couple strays that have been coming around, and because they are hanging around, I do want to give them some place to kind of create their own little territory so that they are not fighting with my house cats all the time. I have some scrap wood that I've had laying around the shop. I really don't have a plan today. I am just going to kind of wing it. I have roughly the size I want it to be based off of some of the cardboard house scratchers that are inside. So I'm using that as dimensions. But as far as the plan goes, ultimately for the measurements and all of that, I'm kind of just going to make it up as I go. So let's do this. I'm going to use this as a template on the other piece. I'm going to pop on these right angle squares just so that I can use them basically as a second set of hands while I take some measurements for the base. Probably wondering why I'm not just measuring and deducting the difference, because this is not technically ½ inch. It's actually running on metric, and I'm using standard American rather than the metric system. And the thickness is a little bit, it's like not exactly a full measurement, so it's much easier for me to do it this way so I can get a more accurate feel than to try and do basic measurements and deduct it from the overall thickness. There's a method to my madness. So I need to cut a piece that is 18 by 12 and a half. And I'm actually going to, rather than cutting it for the outside of the bottom, I'm going to cut it for the inside so that when the screws come in, they come in from the side. I just feel like it's stronger. Rather than having a screw come in from the bottom and the weight comes down, it's something that can actually literally like fall out this way versus a screw sticking in this way. It gives it a little bit more support against the screw. Righty. I'm gonna give this thing a door before I start assembling. I don't want too big of an opening, and cats are really small and can actually squish their bodies into things, so I think I'm going to go with only a 5-inch opening here. Alrighty, I'm going to start assembling just the bottom part first and see where we're at. I'm using 1¼ inch drywall screws, and I actually had some leftover wood from this counter here that's coated already. I'm going to use that as the base, because that way if it gets messed on or whatever, it can get easily cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and put these sides on first. I like to have 2 drills handy, one driver bit and the other with my countersink bit, because that way I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Be a little bit overkill with 5 screws on each side, but this is going to be outdoors, so I want it to be fairly sturdy. I should have no problem screwing into these bottom part, because that is a full 3/4 inch thick, but I'm going to have to be really careful on my side edges. So see, I'm doing a priming action where I'm only screwing in a little bit of the way and then backing out. It's kind of like widening that hole little by little so I don't accidentally split the wood. Even if I had elongated my countersink bit here, it's still probably going to be necessary, because you don't want to countersink all the way to where you expand the hole too much. You want to make sure you get enough grab in there. I'm gonna put away some of this stuff and get some paint out because I think the next thing I want to do is paint this base before I do the roof, because I want to do the roof a different color and it would just be easier to have the bottom painted out. Alright, so I don't have a barnyard red, and I do have a very bright red that I've been using for the garden, and I have some brown and some plum, and I'm going to see what I can do about mixing up something that resembles a little bit of a barnyard red. As long as you are mixing all the same type of latex paints, you should be fine. This could be a complete disaster. We shall see. Not too bad. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more of that brown. Alright, I'm going to set this aside and let it dry a bit while I move on to cutting the pieces for the top. Alright, these are all going to get 2 coats, but I'm going to set these aside because I need to paint some strips white for the edging. Alright, so I have a bunch of these little thin wooden strips. They're about fat 1/16, not quite 1/8 of an inch thick. I basically took scrap wood and just cut them on the bandsaw and just keep making strips of them because I use them as stacked siding when I'm making sculptures. And this pet house is actually not too far from small miniature Victorian houses and some of my own personal artwork. I'm just going to give them a coat of white because these will become my details around the edges of the barn. I'm going to just use one to stir, mixing my witch's brew. When you're trying to do these projects very quickly, the thing that can end up, you spend a lot of, I spend majority of my time on finishing. Rather than me assembling the entire barn, which I could have done, and then go back and paint all of the parts, I would have wasted a lot of time trying to deal with detail painting these little strips, trying to get the red around where these are going to go, and then if you goof up, then you got to go back and retouch up, and it's a lot of work doing it that way. So this is my time-saving tip. Wherever you can, paint before you assemble. Alrighty, I am about to put the roof on. I realized that I'm probably going to fill some of the roof screw holes because I'm not going to put the white molding stripping around the whole thing because it doesn't make sense to have it on top of the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the roof first so that I can then fill the holes. So whenever I'm filling something that's painted, I just use your basic spackle, the same kind of stuff you're going to use inside your house to fill holes in the wall. Because you're painting, you don't need to try to match any colors. The benefit to using spackle is that it dries a lot faster and it is much easier to sand, and it is a lot less likely to shrink than a wood filler. I do use wood filler occasionally. If I'm using wood filler on a non-painted surface, chances are I'm trying to actually match the existing wood, so in that case I probably would be making my own anyway. And then the beauty of spackle is you give it a minute and you should let it set a little more, and then you can just clean up some of the excess with a little damp cloth, and then I'll touch it back up. This is like the fun part for me. I think I've been waiting all day to get this stuff on because this is like where the fun happens for me. Alright, I know I need 4 of them, right? 1 for the top, the bottom, and the 2 at the other side. So I'm going to just tape, making sure that I get the unpainted bit at the bottom. And I'm going to tape 4 of them together. I'm just using painter's tape. Paint, and I am putting the tape just under where that cut line is that I put in. I'm gonna then, this is where I get a little bit more on the technical edge of things, right? It's supposed to be a quick and easy project, but here we are with the getting a straight edge out, right? I'm gonna transfer that line just to the side edge. I just need the tick mark as a guideline because I want to put tape where the cut head is going to go. And when I take this to the cutter, I'm just going to chop it on the chop saw. This tape will help me avoid tear up. The tape did its job. I no longer have to worry about that tear off. It's a nice clean cut. Alright, now I'm going to measure, and hopefully my measurements are not terribly off with my eyeballing. Maybe not too bad. I am eyeballing this angle, so I am going to center myself, see the straight line. I'm going to cut this angle first and then come back and do that. So I'm just going to play with chop saw on the spin to get about an angle that matches my line. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to put a piece of tape on it. The line at this point doesn't really matter as long as I make sure I chop the tip off because I have some extras. Okay, now I can pop that back under. This one over. This one is going to be a very long cut, so I'm going to do this on a bandsaw and not on the chop saw because I think this is too steep of an angle for the chop saw to even have. Alright, repeat. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. Alright, I am back today. I went out and purchased some silicone caulking because I really just didn't feel comfortable with the gaps in the tops of the roof here. I wanted to make sure that because this is meant to be an outdoor shelter for cats, I want to make sure it's waterproof and airtight. So I went in and threw a bead of silicone in both of those little grooves, and then I gave it a 24-hour set. I also went and sanded down all of the roof holes that I filled with the spackle and touched it up with paint. And I went and hammered down with just a little tacking hammer all of those nail heads that were sticking up to be flush with the surface, and then went in with some of that white paint again and touched it up. So that's where we are now. It's still looking super plain to me. So I went ahead and painted up some parts that I'm going to just put together as decorative elements to make this thing look like it has some windows and stuff. So I raided the seed cabinet, the seed starting cabinet, and grabbed a whole bunch of popsicle sticks. I painted one side of them white to match the trim on the barn. And then I also had some scrap pieces of, it's just 1/8 inch thick pieces of Luan that I cut up. And this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be gluing these pieces onto this sheet so that I can brad nail, so that I'll be dealing with only one dry time rather than 3. I also grabbed some super glue and some quick set to help make this go a little bit faster. I like to use this stuff sometimes as a temporary hold, but since this is going outdoors and because I'm working with wood pieces, I'm going to just be using my regular old Type Bond 2, which I love to use for pretty much all of my wood projects. So here we go. The regular pair of scissors should, if I'm not mistaken, be able to just snip off. Yeah, there we go. Or you can use a regular pair of scissors to cut off the rounded edge so that you can have a flat. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue on these pieces with dabbing on a tiny bit of my super glue in each of the corners. I'll spray on the quick set to help it set faster, and then the rest of it will be stripped with my Type Bond. All right. One window down. I'm gonna go ahead and do these other 3, and I'll meet you back here when these are set and dry. All right, I've finished the 4 windows and my oversized door for the back. I did want to mention that while I was thinking about materials and how most of this stuff is pretty much just plywood you can get at Home Depot, some spackle, popsicle sticks you can find. I realized that if you did want to attempt to make this and you didn't want to have to cut up a bunch of this stripping stuff, you could actually get a really fat piece of popsicle stick. They sell them as mixing sticks at Home Depot. Painter sticks could also work if you have a bunch of those laying around. You can paint them white. The stir sticks that they give you away for free. The other thing is I'm going to post the cut list for this piece, and if you don't have access to a table saw or things like that, you should be able to get the majority of the pieces with the exception of the front and back angles cut at Home Depot. And I'll post that list on Clay to Canopy's website with a tutorial. For the most part, you shouldn't need more than a jigsaw and a drill, your local hardware store, and you could get this barn done. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and attach finally the last windows. I'm just going to eyeball these. And that's it. I think I'm going to call it on this one. There you have it. My cat shelter for the yard. I'm going to put this out in the garden somewhere. Hope you enjoyed this project. Thanks for joining me today on Clay to Canopy. I hope I see you soon.